Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at the 10 best cards from Pokemon Go. And you know what's weird? Pokemon Go is very much a special set, a mini set, a celebration set, call it what you will. When they announced this set, I went, oh, that looks cool, I'm going to build a collection. I imagine it's not going to be very good. Not only did we get to a full top 10, which we cannot do for all these special sets, I've had to knock a bunch of cards off of the list because the list got too full. How cool is that? Pokemon Go, from a competitive standpoint, is far, far better than it really had any right to be, or that we could realistically have predicted, and I think that is absolutely swell. So starting off then with some cards that did not make the list, the Charizard from the set has got a really nice ability that means that all the fire energy attached to your Pokemon count double, and I do have to mention that actually when you combine this with the fact that we've got Magma Basin in the game at the moment, a stadium that lets you attach an extra fire energy from your discard to one of your Pokemon during your turn, that actually makes it a way, way better card. So yeah, this one could be good. Didn't make the list. Similarly, the Blastoise from the set's got a really nice ability, Vitality Spring. Lets you search your deck for 6 energy and attach them in any way you like, but it's on a stage 2 and it ends your turn. Ending a turn's not a huge problem, but I've got to get my stage 2 out and then end my turn, and it's a stage 2 and it takes a bunch of space in my deck. Like it, think it's going to be a little bit too awkward. I think Pokestop could actually end up being a legitimately good card, which is a weird sentence to say out loud. That's the one that says once during each player's turn, they can discard the top 3 cards of their deck, but any item cards that get discarded can go into their hand. I think some item-focused draw decks, some speedier decks, could actually really take advantage of this, which is kind of ridiculous, honestly, but I absolutely adore it. This one could be really good. And finally, the combination of Solrock and Lunatone, which, to be fair, we have to put together. We cannot split these up. These make a really nice rogue deck. And honestly, one that I am genuinely excited about, and not in like a tee-hee-hee, this is silly kind of way, but in a like legitimately, oh, this could actually be genuinely good kind of way, which again, I didn't see coming. You see, Solrock's got an awesome ability, Solar Energy. Once during your turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy from your discard to one of your Lunatone in play. And then Lunatone's got an attack for free colorless energy that does 30 damage plus 30 more for each psychic energy attached to this Pokemon. So in theory, if you've got 4 Solrock in play, you can be attaching 5 psychic energy per turn, which equates to 180 damage straight up, which with a choice bout is actually enough to go and get a one-hit KO on basically any Pokemon V, or at least the vast majority of them. And it's a single prize Pokemon that once you get rolling, you might need to attach your psychic energy from your hand each turn, and that's about it. I really, genuinely, legitimately like this. I wanted to put it on the top 10 list. I am definitely going to be testing this out as a fun little rogue deck. I fear it might be lacking a tiny bit of power, so I didn't put it on the list. And the fact that it's taken me 4 minutes to get to the list should tell you I like this set. So in at number 10, we've got BIBAREL. And this one's got a really, really nice ability. It says that as long as this Pokemon is on your bench, cards in your deck can't be discarded by effects of your opponent's attacks, abilities, item cards, or supporter cards. Basically, it's an anti-mill card. Your opponent can't mill you, and if they want to mill you, they can't mill you. I like this. I mean, if like me, you hate Durant, this is a great anti-Durant card. Some people have pointed out that mill is not exactly good enough to really warrant having really direct, explicit counters printed, and I think that might be a fair point. Either way, if you want to play mill decks, stay away from this dude. In at number 9, we've got, I'm cheating a little bit, we've got Magikarp and Ditto. You see, Magikarp has got a really, really nice attack, which says that you deal 10 damage base, plus 30 more for each Magikarp and Gyarados in your discard pile. So generally speaking, 4 Gyarados, 3 Magikarp in your discard pile, you're hitting 220, the magic number to KO Pokemon V, and you need to just recover your Magikarp every turn. It's fine. But then you add in Ditto. And Ditto's got an ability that lets you copy the attacks of any basic Pokemon in your discard pile, as long as they don't have a rule box. So now, when specifically combined with Magikarp, you put all 4 Magikarp and all 4 Gyarados in the discard pile, you hit 250 damage, which is better, and with a Choice Belt means you're actually hitting 280, which KOs Pokemon VSTAR, which is ridiculous, and you've got 70 HP rather than a pathetic 30. I think this could be a legit rogue deck, and I do think it's got a better chance than Lunatone Solrock, though that makes me sad. Do remember though, Ditto's not just good for Magikarp. I mean, as one more little example, imagine popping this into Mad Party and just using this as your attacker while putting all your Mad Party Pokemon into the discard. As an example, just copy Bunnelby, roll with it, have some fun. This could be genuinely good. Ditto's a great card because it's got that lovely gimmick that you don't ever grab a Ditto, you find a Numel or a Bidoof or a Spinarak with a Ditto symbol and peel it off to find Ditto. Go check my opening I did a couple of days ago to see a lovely example of that. But the fact of the matter is, it's not actually just good as a gimmick, it's a legit good card. In at number 8, we've got GOLISOPOD. Nice and simple, this one. Single water energy, 20 damage, but if it moved from the bench to the active this turn, you do 110 instead. Add 110 doubled with weakness comes to 220, which I've already told you a couple times is a perfect number to get one-hit KOs on Pokemon V. If you're playing something like a Zoroark deck, or just a general Stage 1s deck, where you're trying to find a bunch of different Stage 1s to hit different weaknesses, this is your water Pokemon. Single energy, really good, and thematically, GOLISOPOD goes into the active and does more damage. That's what it does. I like it. In at number 7, we've got Radiant Blastoise, and I might be a little bit excitable, but I've got all 4 Radiant Pokemon on this list. I think they're all really good. The ability Pump Shot is why we're playing this. You must discard a water energy from your hand to use this ability. Once during your turn, you may put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Well, look, we've already seen how good placing 2 damage counters can be, because we've all been doing it with Inteleon for a little while, except this is a basic Pokemon that discards an energy rather than a Stage 2. And of course, if you're playing water decks, you're probably playing Melanie that wants to have a water energy in your discard, and this is a great way to get said water energy into said discard. Honestly, the only real problem with Radiant Blastoise is there's a very good chance that a lot of water decks are just going to want to play Radiant Greninja because it's got a draw ability that discards energy, and also it's got that really good attack that can hit multiple Pokemon. That's the only real issue with Blastoise. It might not be as good as Greninja in water decks. It's still a very good card. In at number 6, we've got Radiant EEVEE, and Radiant EEVEE's got the attack Twinkle Gathering. For 1 colourless energy, you search your deck for a number of cards up to the number of different types of Pokemon you have in play, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So basically, if you've got 6 different types of Pokemon in play, you search for 6 cards. Now, don't get me wrong, your opponent can drop a Marnie, and if your opponent drops Marnie, not only do you not have those cards in hand anymore, but they've actually gone to the bottom of your decks and are now going to be harder to find. If you get Marnie, this sucks, like really hard. If you don't get Marnied, you are going to have an amazing next turn. That is basically where we're going with Radiant EEVEE. Basic Pokemon, single colourless energy, phenomenal attack turn 1 going second, but if you get Marnied, you've wasted your attack. It is literally that simple. I like it though, I think it's going to be good. In at number 5, we've got Slacking V. I genuinely think this is a really good card. And it's a pretty simple card. 4 energy, 260. Thing is, that gets 1-hit KOs on Pokemon V, and you add a choice belt to go to 290 and you get one-hit KOs on Pokemon VSTAR. It's as simple as that. This hits numbers, and it's colorless energy. And sure, you'll probably end up having to use stuff like Arceus to accelerate the energy, but you know what? Why not? Like, if that's what it takes. And the thing is, you know, yes, the weakness can be exploited, but don't forget, we got Dunsparce nowadays, which will take away your weakness, which makes it much less of an issue. And actually, yeah, we could be on to something here, ladies and gentlemen. We could absolutely be on to something here. This one looks good. Now, it does have an ability that says that you cannot attack if you've got 2, 4, or 6 prizes remaining, which is obviously super duper annoying, but that's why Arceus gave us Path to the Peak. And Path to the Peak will very nicely remove your ability and all the other abilities of Pokemon with rule boxes, and then you're fine. So, you know, don't worry your pretty little head about it. It's going to be okay. I really do think this one has a chance, just because you can take away the weakness and it can one-hit KO pretty much anything that's relevant. In at number 4, I'm very surprised by this one. It's Radiant Charizard. I really, really like Radiant Charizard, because it's got an ability that says this Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless energy less for each prize card your opponent has taken. And for 1 fire, 4 colorless, it does 250 damage. Thing is, if your opponent's taken 4 prize cards, this is a single energy attack on a basic Pokemon. And we keep talking about the numbers here. 250 is enough to KO Pokemon V easily. And you add a choice belt. And then you're hitting 280, which is enough to get a KO on Pokemon VSTAR. So you're telling me there's a single prize basic Pokemon that can, in the late stages of the game, for a single energy, get a one-hit KO on a Pokemon VSTAR? That's amazing. And sure, it's only for decks playing fire energy or special energy that counts as fire. That's fine by me, ladies and gentlemen. This is really, 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 really good. I genuinely adore this. This one is surprisingly awesome. In at number 3, we've got Mewtwo VSTAR. We knew this was good, but this is slightly lower than I was expecting. The thing is, I don't know if this is going to become the best deck in the format or not, but it certainly looks like a contender. For 2 energy, you deal 90 damage, but what you've done is discarded up to 3 psychic energy from any of your Pokemon, and you deal 90 more for each card you discarded in this way. Okay, that's quite cool. Thing is, we've got loads of ways to get psychic energy on the field. I mean, Galarian Articuno is going to be a very nice way to do so, because when you bench it, you get to attach 2 extra energy, which is clearly a good thing. And I think this could be good. I think this could be a very nice Pokemon that does lots of damage. And again, numbers-wise, we're hitting very good numbers. If you get rid of free energy, that's 270, which will get some VSTAR, and then we can always do a tiny bit of extra damage to get rid of the rest of the VSTAR. Quite frankly, I think this is good, and I think it's powerful, and I think it's going to be a very good deck. Also, 2 energy, 120 to each of your opponent's Pokemon V, either weakening them or potentially knocking out multiples in one go. That's a good VSTAR power. In at number 2, we've got SLOWBRO, and I could easily have put this number 1. Incidentally, I think any of the top 4 could have been number 1, but I feel good about my list, that's why I recorded the video. And what we've got with SLOWBRO here is a ridiculous attack that might be a little bit broken and unfair, or might be too easily played around. What we've basically got is an attack for 2 energy that takes 2 prizes if your opponent has exactly 1 prize card remaining. And it really is as simple as that. It's great. I love it. Like, I genuinely love it. Because that's going to make a difference. If your opponent goes down to 1 prize remaining, you just win the game instantly if you've got 2 prizes left. So that is going to make your opponent play around it. And that is the big downside here. It is possible that your opponent can play around it, and that's really sad, etc. But there's a whole bunch of other silly little tricks. We've got an Electrode that you can essentially blow up and give your opponent a prize. Well, actually, you can use Electrode to force your opponent down to 1 prize remaining and then win the game with this, as an example. I just think this is really good. And I think in any Stage 1 deck, this is going to be amazing. In any deck playing double turbo energy or anything similar, this could be potentially amazing. I think people are going to take this card and run with it. I think it's going to win a whole bunch of games. If nothing else, it is going to be a real pain for your opponent to play around. And that means that in at number 1, we've got Radiant Venusaur. And I feel weirdly good about this, because it's got an ability that after you attack, you draw till you got 4 cards in your hand. You draw until you got 4 at the end of your turn. It basically means that no matter how bad your hand is at the end of the turn, you are going to refill it. One I very embarrassingly didn't mention when we looked at this before, Hisuian Arcanine, a card I'm extremely excited about. It's one that hits 160 if you've got no cards in hand. But then Venusaur lets you draw till you got 4, then you draw for your turn, and I attack with 0 cards in hand, and I start my next turn with 5. Yeah. I know at the moment the go-to Radiant Pokemon is Greninja, and I understand exactly why that is. Because you can discard an energy to draw 2 cards. I think Radiant Venusaur is going to be the go-to Radiant Pokemon. I think it is going to be the one that people gravitate towards. If it's not a specific one you want to play, I think this just became the one. That's what I think. And that's my list. But now I want to know what you think, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWarsy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.